Hi, welcome to Cut and Uncut with Daphne and Bonnie Violet. My name is Daphne and I'm cut.
And I'm Bonnie Violet, and I'm uncut. Here we talk about all things trans.
And then some.
In this episode, we'll be reacting to Ren Million Subscribers and Diazepam, as well as Chinchilla Fingers Live. I forgot my button. There you go.
We also want to give a big shout out and a thank you to our Patreon members, Skylar Bean, Jacob Blankenship, Elizabeth, Danielle Loyal, and Bertha D. Hugs and kisses.
And be sure to subscribe and watch us on YouTube or listen to us on Spotify. Join us on Patreon. Follow us on the TikTok. And be sure to get that merch. All right. Sunday, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I should be sending out an apology today, shouldn't I, Bonnie?
I sent one out on your behalf.
Oh, you're so kind. So, my mom isn't doing too well, so it has challenged my schedule, but it's a little stressful for me, but I am working through it. So, with challenges comes changes. So please be patient with us and me, and it's greatly appreciated.
Awesome. All right. No worries.
All right, Bonnie. So what's on the show tonight?
All right. Well, we're going to finally do million subscribers, which we keep getting that over and over and over.
Yes.
Folks seem to think that it'll just help us have more context to Ren and his work. So
us or me?
You.
Yeah.
Maybe
so
you.
I want to give a contact or a shout out to all of our subscribers and people that have been leaving comments about poor Daphne. She's wayward, and thank you for being patient with me. I am definitely trying my best to understand and put myself in other people's shoes when it comes to how we deal with pain. So I just want you to know he has my undying love and support. And like anyone else, if you want to know something, you have to ask questions, you have to work through it, and you have to be committed to understanding and be willing to change. And like I said, I'm a disco queen, and I can be a little biased, but I have love for everybody. So I'm willing to work through that.
Awesome. All right. Well, here we go.
Keep this short and sweet because I wrote something that I want to share with you. But first of all, I just want to say how grateful I am. I've reached 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which is a flipping huge milestone. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who supported my music over the years, whether you're newly on board or have been here for a while. I wanted to say thank you to the YouTube reaction community who have gotten behind my stuff in a big way and really helped me reach this goal. So thank you guys. I wanted to read this passage that I wrote about success. It's too much for me to remember right now, so bear with me. But yeah, success to me means that I have a responsibility that transcends me. If I have a platform where people are paying attention, then I feel like it's my duty to make that count. It's far more important than my aspirations with music and what I could personally gain. There's a saying that stuck with me recently, which was a rising tide lifts all ships. Somehow, by finding success for myself has meant that I can find success for the people around me, and that makes me feel very rich. I'm in a very strange position right now where I owe much of my success to the most destructive force in my life, which has been the turbulence of my physical and mental illness. The thing that has by far brought me the most pain has been a source of constant inspiration, which ironically led to creations which brought me the most joy. Creating art which means something to somebody else and can potentially be a companion to somebody else in the dark justifies my own pain, and I desperately needed that to be justified. There are a lot of people alive today who live in the dark. It's a place that I'm very familiar with. In the peak of my health problems, I was severely underweight. All my meals had to be restricted and blended, and I was so tired that I couldn't participate in life. I couldn't socialize, I couldn't watch films, I couldn't read. My bones constantly hurt. Even standing in the shower was excruciating and exhausting. And this went on for years, with no answers. Nobody could have ever convinced me during that time that my pain and suffering would be a source for something good, because it felt insidious. Nobody could have ever convinced me that something constructive can come from hurting every day. But I'm here to tell you that if you are hurting every day, don't be afraid. One thing I know to be a certain, to be a constant law of the universe, is that life is inconsistent. Life is beautiful and life is hideous. Life is kind and life is cruel. Dancing inside this dichotomy and inconsistency makes me know that you won't hurt forever, whether that comes from resolution of what you're going through or acceptance of where you are. You won't hurt forever. You don't know yet whether or not your pain conceals gold. It definitely conceals wisdom, and it's definitely a catalyst for filling you with empathy. So stand strong, my friends, and don't let the darkness consume you, because once you know the dark and become intimate with it, you become very capable of wielding the light. You could be instrumental for changing this world for the better. There's nothing humble about shrinking or doubting yourself because you are large. You can be ferocious and you could be magnificent. For the medical industry, who too often let people fall through the cracks, it's your duty to do better. For the people living in the light, who have either stepped out of their shadow or have never had to walk beside it, it's your responsibility to put out untainted love. Our own greed, desire to ferociously expand, and decisions rooted in self-interest can benefit ourselves in a material sense, but can be very destructive to the hive and the world around us, ultimately hurting ourselves. So we really must consider that if we're going to step into a bright future. As humans, we have an incredible potential, and it would be a shame to throw it away. So community, humanity, and changing our relationship with the natural world so it leans more towards homeostasis must be a priority number one. If you're watching this and there's a knot tied up in your stomach with bitterness, anger, or hatred for your fellow human being, be with it, feel it, understand it, express it, and then let it go. You're hurting. Give yourself love, forgive yourself, and then project that love outwards, and the anger will pass. We have a decision in every interaction to tilt the world towards heaven or hell, towards Jannah or Jahannam, utopia or dystopia, and some people's ideas of heaven will be another's image of hell. So tread carefully, but treat those differences with respect. Tapestries are made beautiful because of the variety in the sum of their parts. Thank you to 1 million people inside this rich tapestry for the opportunity for me to try and spread my own vision of what I believe to be good. And thank you for justifying my pain. Thank you. I love you.
Wow. It's like that.
I blame you, Bonnie.
For what?
Because if you'd have led with this video, before we went down this renegade, I would have been in love much sooner.
I've never seen the video until now.
What
That was
a very powerful message. I completely resonate with everything that he said, from my transition to becoming a woman, to transgender woman. I want to clarify that. To any pain dealing with society and how I choose to move through the matrix, remembering, feeling, experiencing everything, not letting it define me, and using that pain to bring light and awareness is everything that I have truly designed myself to be a part of. And had I have known that I was in this amazing tapestry along with him, I would have understood a lot of what he was going through. Everybody deals with pain totally different. And that was being said through our comments. That is why you love Ren. Yes, I can understand. And now I'm extremely proud to know that I'm not alone, and that he is not alone, and that we all have the same mission in life. And I think that joining this renegade can really help start the healing process and understanding of people. It is an art form of what he is doing, just like myself is an art form and how I am. And everyone in yours is an art form of how you choose to move through the matrix as well. You're a beautiful woman and you have an extremely gift of drag, and you're very proud of that. And unfortunately, the world around us does not move with us the same way. And he understood, everybody has, and oh, I got to put my charger on. Bear me with me before this dies, because it'll be a short-lived life, people.
Yeah, we don't want that happening. But
And
yeah, like
happens. Hopefully it doesn't. Okay, so if it does go off, people, I apologize. But okay, Bonnie, that's what I had to say
yeah.
about that. So what
Yeah,
did
well,
you?
and I think he spoke a lot to what, like, I know last week we watched Sick Boy and Seven Sins, and I know it was like really intense, but I think that's what he was talking about when he's like, if you're angry, if you're mad, like to just like take it on, like deal with it, feel it, express it in whatever way you need to do. And I felt like that's what those songs did, was it really allowed you to confront and accept what was happening, express it so that you can move on, because otherwise it just builds up and builds up and builds up. And I think the thing too, when he was talking about like his worst part in life is now bringing him joy and bringing other people joy, and that's something we learn a lot in recovery, that we find ways to turn our deficits into assets. We come to understand that our ability to get like off of drugs and alcohol and to live the lives that we live is remarkable, and it's something that other people can get hope from as well. And so I think that's a lot of why I connect with Ren as well too, is that he's able to talk about his experience and the hard times and the difficult times, but there's still hope in that. And it's like, so if he can do it, then I can do it. You know what I mean? And so I know that's what it was for me when I came across him. Was I was just feeling so alone with my feelings and my emotions and my battle, if you will, in my head. And I was just feeling like I was like unable to handle it on my own. And I was having some sort of problem that I shouldn't be having because of my age or because I'm like, well, or, all these sorts of things. And so it was really helpful just to watch High Ren, and it just like, it pulled everything out that I was going through and just was like, boom, here you go. And I'm like, oh, I'm not that unique, which we know as well, right?
Yeah, that was ultimately depressing for me to find out that I'm not unique.
Well, we are unique. We are unique. We just can't allow our uniqueness to become terminal for us, because I know I can feel so unique that keeps me from connecting to you or anyone, which ultimately makes me feel not good about being in the world. And so I can't let my uniqueness, kill me, basically. And I think Ren has a way of helping us see where we connect and see where our sameness is, even when it's not obvious. How we are connected or how we can relate to one another, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I also wanted to go back. He just spoke such inspiration. Like I felt him breathing new life and new understanding with also compassion and empathy. And I think a lot more people in the world. Well, first of all, congratulations on his accomplishment and his success and what that means to him. It's not the richness of monetary, it's the richness of being able to connect to people, being able to have people like you and other renegaders to pass his message along and be inspired and to keep the message alive. That's very powerful, and a lot of people have these platforms and they don't do that. And I think that's very important, like you said, to use your platforms to, do good in the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's very powerful. So
cool. And
I
think he really spoke well too. And he like showed what it meant, what humility looks like. And it wasn't about like one of the things that he was talking about was actually like claiming your bigness, claiming your greatness. Because I think in my experience, I always thought humility was about like becoming smaller or becoming becoming right-sized is really what humility is. Like But like for me, I think for a long time, it just meant that I needed to be less in order to be more right-sized. And the last few years I've noticed, and it's become harder to actually step into more of the person, so that I can be right-sized in the bigness of me as well too, in a way that's not pompous or arrogant or full of self, but just in a sense of like knowing my purpose and my worth and my value and what I have to bring to the world, or bring to this job, or bring to a friendship or my family, or those sorts of things. And really being able to own that is not arrogance. It's just knowing oneself.
I was going to say, and that's in the Bible, know thyself, that's
Mhm.
very hard to do, because people don't want you to know yourself. They want to tell you how to be you. This is how you should be. And like he said, the doctors do a huge disservice by just, that was huge by, saying that the medical industry needs to step up.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important, if they have a gift of using that talent, it should be done, for righteous things.
Right. And well, like, so like, and kind of what I think he was talking about too is like, yeah, the medical community can be better. But one of the things that I'm Tuesday is actually my birthday for starting my transition.
You're going to be 50?
I'm going to be 3 in my transition. And I'm actually going with a mutual friend who is starting hormones tomorrow. And so I'm going with them to their first appointment. And one of the things that I talked with them about was that, like, because we a year ago, we went to go do this together, and there was a bad experience with the provider. And so they just didn't do it. And so then a year later, they're really wanting to do it. And I was like, don't let this doctor, don't let this provider say something, or their ignorance or whatever keep you from getting what you want. You know what I mean? And so, and sometimes that can be hard to advocate for ourselves when we're in those really vulnerable moments.
And thank God for having someone with support. That is very important, to have support in any situation, someone to talk to. And we shared a little bit about that, about going through your past and dredging up that stuff, so you can have someone that you're comfortable and that you trust to share your vulnerability with,
Right.
And thank God Ren has these amazing followers to share that pain with. So he doesn't have to go through this alone. And now he has me and you to share that with. And I'm very understanding now of what he went through, how he overcame it, and now how he wields his strength. And that's extremely powerful. My favorite person is Wonder Woman,
Yes.
She has this great responsibility, this woman, and she uses it for good. Everybody has a superpower. Right. And it's how you tend to use your superpower is what's important,
Yeah. And it's like, his willingness to share his pain is helping others, but ultimately it's also helping him, because then it makes you feel like it was worthwhile.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you for commenting and for sharing that with us.
People kept saying it and kept saying it, and I just didn't come up. So we get a lot of suggestions all the time. And so it's sometimes hard to and I haven't felt like just putting him in order and going down. And so I just kind of.
And what was the name of this one?
Trust My Gut. This one's called Million Subscribers. So this was when he got 1 million subscribers. He now has 1.35 million subscribers on YouTube, but